Welcome back, everybody. I'm Jack Canfield, your host. We're talking about success. My next guest is Lyle Benjamin. He's known as the Karma Guy. He's the founder of the Planned Acts of Kindness. You've all heard of Random Acts of Kindness. We're going to talk about Planned Acts of Kindness today. He's the author of 16 Things We All Can Do to Act Right and Help Save the Planet. Something we all need to be doing right now. So welcome to the show.
Thank you, Jack. Appreciate being here.
My pleasure. So talk about Planned Acts of Kindness.
Sure. Planned Acts of Kindness is a global social responsibility program where people wake up and every day on their cell phone computer device, there's a new planned act of kindness that they can do with their friends, family, coworkers, and in the community. And the goal is to have tens of millions of people here in the United States, hundreds of millions of people around the world doing the same planned act of kindness on the same day and unleashing that much positive, powerful energy into the world.
So it's possible on one day I might have 10 people appreciating me.
Absolutely.
And I'm appreciating them.
You're appreciating, and the ripple effect goes from there.
That's really cool. I remember a poem about a guy who winked at a fairly homely woman. And this guy said, "What are you doing?" He said, "You just winked at a very homely person." He said, "I know, but it probably makes her day. And if she's a teacher, all her kids are going to have a great day." You know, it goes on and on like the ripple effect like that. So
That's absolutely great.
I absolutely think it's true. So what got you started on this mission of Planned Acts of Kindness?
Well, the thing is that when I was growing up, I kind of had a difficult childhood, family life. Parents were divorced at 7, and siblings fought all the time, mother out of control with it. And I went and lived with my father a little bit later, and it was still quite difficult. And I got my first job when I was 11 years old, working in New York City for a florist, doing adult-type work. And people who worked in the neighborhood who I met, managers, owners of stores, started to take an interest. And one of the guys was a manager of a fast food restaurant, big guy, 6'2", white apron, dirty and everything else. He'd say, "Come on over, let's get lunch." We'd go sit in the back of his place, sit on wooden crates. And he'd talk to me. And he'd ask me to talk to him. And it really helped on a personal level. And what I found is that growing up, it happened with teachers, it happened with friends' parents, and these people had no business really going ahead and helping me other than they cared. And that made a profound impact on me. Mm-hmm. And I knew I couldn't repay them, but I could do something to help other people. So I went to law school to become an attorney to help people, and boy, was I naive. Yeah. Right? I realized this isn't it. When I got offered my first job with the Attorney General's office, I said, "Thank you very much. No, thank you." And I went into business, entrepreneurial business instead. And I've done a national newsstand magazine on helping people. I've done a best-selling relationship board game. And, I did business, but I realized I wasn't doing enough. I wasn't doing enough on my mission. So I created Planned Acts, right, in order to help more people.
Beautiful. So what are some of the things you're calling planned acts? What are if someone joins up with you, which I encourage them to do?
Thank you.
What would be some of the things that you would be sending out? This is the planned act for the day. What? Give us some examples.
Sure. Well, it can start with very simple, like you see a sort of a plain-looking woman on the street and you wink at her,
okay.
Right? And, it makes her day and she's
right.
a teacher.
Right.
It can be very simple things like, Monday morning we get up and we're in a rush, we're in a hurry, but we don't really take the time to connect with other people and smile and, bring that level of energy, right, that we need, positive energy. So you see on your planned activity today, smile at people that you see that you wouldn't ordinarily do that with. And we're not talking about doing this on the street, walking down the street with a grin on your face because people think, you're certifiable and want to cart you away.
Right.
It's, the people that you're working with, or whether it's in school or your job or, whatever it is. And it's going to uplift you and it's going to uplift them. And whenever we do these planned acts and we put them out there, we also have the why as well. So people sort of get a better understanding of what this can mean to them and other people. But that's a simple thing, and then they can get a little bit more involved. It can be everything from, think about a favorite book or movie that you have and what it means to you, and then share that with someone else and tell them the reason why you're sharing. And it's really, you thought enough about this person to extend yourself because this was something on a personal level. Okay? And then it forms something that you can talk about later on. And then there's even deeper things, like you can ask 3 people during the course of a day, Jack, what do you think is a major problem in this country, on this planet that really needs to be corrected? And what do you think needs to be done to correct that? And very few of us ever get asked that question. But a lot of us have ideas. And when you have these ideas, send them in to us because, we need to go ahead and get it out there. Right. So those are some of the things that will be in the daily packs. And you don't have to do 30 a month. You do the ones that, you want to do.
Cool. Now tell us about the Karma Club.
Sure. The Karma Club is a way for you to go ahead and do your activities during the month and then let other people know that you've done them. And there's actually 4 different activities that you do during the month, not only your daily packs, but you ask other people to become members of the Karma Club, right? You do volunteering with our organization. We have a lot of different programs, no matter where you are in the world, okay? And then you do things to help support, the programs that we have. When you do these 4 activities during the month, you actually can level up. When you level up, it's like karma. What goes around comes around. You're then eligible for free gifts that we give away every single day to random people at that level.
Well, I love what you're doing. It's very cool.
Thank you very much.
It's going to create a lot of beautiful energy and like you say, ripples in the world. So beyond the personal level, is there anything the Karma Club can do on a more global level?
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. And that's a big part of this as well. The problems of the world, climate change, overpopulation, pollution, pandemics. Bill Gates said pandemics are the biggest thing we got to worry about just about. Terrorism, war. These problems aren't going to be solved by governments or corporations. They're going to be solved by ordinary people working together on common causes with a common focus. And that's what the Karma Club can do. So let's say we have a corporation that's polluting somewhere in the world, and we contact them and say, hey, you have, this is what you're doing, this is what you should be doing because, hey, it's the health of the planet. What are you going to do to go ahead and correct this? And they don't correct it. They don't offer a plan for solving the issue. We then have hundreds of millions of people that could come to bear to get them to change their behavior. Because we have one planet, we've got one human race on this planet, and if we don't start acting like it now, the tipping points aren't 20, 30 years from now. They're now.
Right.
Okay? And life on this planet then, for our children, our grandchildren, will be tremendously different and not in a positive way. We've got 7 billion people on the planet. There are projections that if the oceans die out because of plastics, pollution, rising temperatures, and that affects the world food supply, we might go down to 500 million people on this planet.
Wow.
So, everyone takes a little bit of responsibility, and collectively, we can make things happen.
Now, you're developing something called National Kindness Month.
Kindness Month.
World Kindness Month.
Yes.
Tell us about that.
Sure. Next April, we're going to launch National Kindness Month, and it's a program where we're going to go ahead and generate a lot of awareness and partner with students, employees, owners, retirees, the unemployed, working in conjunction with schools, churches, temples, nonprofits, government agencies, and businesses in order to get out, the word and the mission. And every country can participate in their own National Kindness Month. And then December next year, we're going to launch our first World Kindness Month. And we're going to have summits in different places around the world. People get together and they learn how they can be a part of, the planet we call home.
Mm-hmm. Well, the Dalai Lama says his religion is kindness. So I think you're going to have a worldwide reaction to that, and a lot of people are going to play. So you've got a book, 16 Things We All Can Do to Act Right and Help Save the Planet. Tell us about your book.
Sure. With the book, 16 Things, it focuses on 16 problems that actually can be solved with kindness. And each problem has 2 contributing experts that say, this is what you need to do, this is why you need to do it in order to solve that problem. So it's really a self-help guide to exhibiting more kindness in your life. And then what happens is the books form the basis of better communication and literacy workshops. People can get together, they can form their own peer support group. They read out loud what the problem is and what our normal response to this problem, which is not so good, and then what the experts say. And then they have a discussion group about it. And, you know, it's a great way to form friendships, relationships, and your sense of community, because that's what leads us to having a happier, healthier life. It's not the money that we have, it's not the drugs that we take, it's the relationships.
Right.
And our sense of community.
We've only got a few minutes left,
Sure.
but what are some of these 16 problems?
Oh my goodness. Well, you know, we also have the obvious ones like we talked about before, the climate change, pollution, things like this.
Terrorism and pandemics and all that. Yep.
But we also have things like bullying in school. You know, we have people who are feeling isolated, lonely. You know, they feel like they don't fit in. There's high rates of suicide on a lot of different levels, from students, you know, getting into college to being in college. MIT, whoops, I shouldn't be naming names, you know, has a high, because of the pressure that people feel, sense of isolation, right? And we need to make more connections and show these people that, hey, whatever you're going through, right, there's a way to make it better. And you can come out the other end, be stronger for it, and, you know, contribute.
Very beautiful, beautiful. I love you and what you're doing. It's great.
Thank you, Jack. Thank
so,
you.
Two final questions.
Sure.
What advice, if you were to, you know, here you have all these people listening right now. If you could give one piece of advice out, what would it be?
Go to plannedactsofkindness.org, join the Karma Club, and get ready, you know, and start doing your planned acts and invite other people. That might be more than one thing, but it starts with one step.
That's good. Everything's, the Chinese said that a journey of 10,000 miles starts with one step. Very good. All right. Well, you answered two questions in one, so it's all very good.
Well, that's great.
Yeah. No, I love talking to you. You're obviously a very loving, kind person yourself. It shows in your face. I'm glad you're taking on this project. We definitely need it. We've become so, let's just call divided in our country.
Yes.
And when we're just talking about being human beings, solving problems, we all share. Doesn't matter what side of the political spectrum you're on.
Absolutely.
We can just approach them as human beings. And so I'm glad you're doing that. We need that work. So thank you very much for joining me,
Jack,
Lau.
I appreciate it. Appreciate all the kindness that you've shown me as well.
All right. Thank you very much. All right. You know where to go. You know what it's about, kindness. And do it. We need you to play. So again, we'll be